Hello there, I'm Big Alias, and this is your mum's favourite channel. But that's only because I showed Dick on main, so... Can you cut a whole intro out? I'm not sure. Okay, I'm just going to fess up. I fucked my finger up opening a can of soup, which is the most singly tragic thing to have ever happened to a human being. But it happened, and then I had to go to minor injuries and get it done up, and then the person didn't laugh at me externally, but we'll see about that. Also, in the news, Tame Impala released a new song. I don't know why I want to talk about it, but I really do. Tame Impala have been a band that I really don't have a trajectory on this channel. If my channel had a genre, it would be bleh. So let's talk about Tame Impala. I've loved Tame Impala for a very long time. As a matter of fact, as you can probably see over my shoulder. But yeah, this is inner speaker, vinyl, gatefold, beautiful vinyl. Actually, wait there. So in terms of stuff I have lying around the house, I have this on display. This is Lonerism, as my favourite Tame Impala album, and Currents, which is just an excellent vinyl, really good vinyl, huge improvement, beautiful, gorgeous vinyl. But they released a new song. This is so much runtime, called End of Summer. And as you can see, I'm a huge fan. So I was very excited. I was particularly excited as this is a 7-minute song. And for all intents and purposes, I think it's pretty clear that this is the start of a new album cycle and the end of summer, where this is probably going to be a new album. And Kevin being Kevin. And by the way, throughout this video, I'm going to refer to Tame Impala as Kevin. Because if I refer to Tame Impala as him, then people are going to be like, oh, well, it's Tame Impala, it's a band. But if I refer to Tame Impala as them, they're going to say, well, it's just one guy. Stop being stupid. Also, nice tattoos, by the way. Thank you. That's really sweet. Kevin released a new song. And, yeah, it's 7 minutes long. And the last time they released a 7-minute... God damn. And what the hell? What's happened? And the last time they released a 7... And the last time Kevin released a 7-minute single, it was Let It Happen, which arguably is Tame Impala's best song. It's stunning, gorgeous, rich production throughout. It's just such an experience of a song and a perfect way to open an album, a tremendous album opener, Let It Happen. So good. And so I thought, I know he's playing around with a lot of things. The Slow Rush was nowhere near on the level when it comes to Tame Impala, but... he could strike gold. I mean, Currents was a huge experiment for Tame Impala. And though Lonerism is my favourite album and Currents isn't, I still like what was done on Currents. And I like the experimentation with things. And I still think it's a tremendous album. I mean, I have it on vinyl. Of course, I like it. I think it's an excellent album. So in terms of experimenting, we do sometimes mine gold with this. So how do I feel about I've got Edge of Tomorrow on the brain for some reason. End of Summer. It's interesting. So this is Kevin trying something entirely different. He's gone from, psychedelic rock music, Pink Floyd / Beatles psychedelic stuff, to, with some Led Zeppelin, diced into there, to a slightly more electronic... The best way I think I could describe Lonerism is if you took Tomorrow Never Knows by the Beatles and just turned it into an album. That's what Lonerism is, and it's phenomenal. To something more electric and 80s inspired, to the Slow Rush, which just sort of continued on that path, to this where it's a club beat, and of course this is the trend at the moment. Club music is very in. Thank you, Charlie XCX, and that's fine. FKA Twigs put out Eusexia, which is just a tremendous album, and one of my favorite albums of the year. Actually, such a great album. So it can be done well. I think Lorde did some fairly interesting stuff with it. Troye Sivan did some good energetic, uplifting music. Is it club music? Some of it not. But it still, follows on that path and in a very good way. I really enjoyed. I can't remember what the album was called, but it was Troye Sivan's last album. I thought was very good. This fast-paced club music is very in at the moment, and I can't help but feel that Kevin is kind of following the path a little bit, which I'm not used to with Kevin. I mean, when it came to Inner Speaker, I think it was 2010, and no one was making music like this. No one on the face of the earth was making music. Who the hell is going to make a revival psychedelic rock album a la, Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd in 2010. Who's going to do that? And yet they did. And then when it came to Currents, you have to remember that Currents came out in 2015. All of that like 80s inspired music wasn't really as like in the way that he had produced it at the time. And I do think that Currents is one of the most influential albums of this millennia. It really did change a lot. I mean, just ask Rihanna. She covered one of the songs on Anti. So he's been very influential, never really followed the path. And so this is why this feels like a little bit, not Kevin to me, and that's slightly disappointing. The song itself feels a little bit thin for a 7-minute song. Okay, so here's why I'm disappointed. And why I raised the fact that it was a 7-minute song. Compared to Let It Happen, which is, Tame Impala at his best. I said his, damn it. Tame Impala at his best. The reason that is such a masterpiece, the whole reason it is because it's 7 minutes of pure production mastery. Like, it's glorious from start to finish. So much so that I actually don't particularly love every song on Currents, but I still love the album just because of Let It Happen. But it just moves and ebbs and flows and does different things with production from here to there, slows down, breaks, falls apart, picks itself back up, crescendos, starts again. It does all of that, but it does it all so well throughout the song. The entire song is just such a journey. For a song that's just about like letting it go and being apathetic, essentially, there's so much that happens in that song. So when I saw that this was going to be a 7-minute song, I thought, he's going to do it again. Is he going to do it again? There's every chance. And I don't think I was right. It does feel kind of thin, honestly. A little bit SoundCloudy, to be completely honest with you. Like boom, 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 kind of throughout. It doesn't really change much, except around about 2/3 in, when it's like euphoric and it does such cool, amazing stuff. And I just get lost in it, like it becomes very like angelical, and it really like transcends and lifts itself up, and he gets into like these chants and does something completely different with the beat, and it becomes really interesting for around about a minute, and then it gets back to it again, and I'm just not used to Kevin doing this, to creating a song that feels like a straight line. I'm just not used to that from Kevin. And this doesn't feel exactly like a straight line. It feels like a straight line, straight line, straight line, straight line. Oh! I suppose up. Oh, straight line, straight line, straight line, straight line. And I'm not really used to that. Other than a couple of songs on Slow Rush. So I do wonder whether he still has it. I appreciate him trying something different, and really like taking a bite at a different apple. But I just think that he could have done a lot more creative things with it. Like I said, FK Twigs, in my opinion, reinvented the club genre with Eusexia earlier this year. So I do think there's a lot to do with it, and I think it's still very malleable. Brat has only existed for just over a year. There's more we can do with it. So for this to, I don't know, it didn't really peak as much as I thought it might. And I'm worried about the album because obviously you put your best foot forward. It's not always the case. It's not always the case. Humble is not the best song on Damn, for example. But if this is what we have coming, it's a very thin sound, and I'm not overly into that very thin sound. Hopefully we can get to some of the like really angelic stuff throughout the album, and he can mess around with a few production things and stuff like that. Maybe he's trying to sort of like get his name on people's mouths again. I know that the Slow Rush was nowhere near as popular as Currents. Perhaps that's what he's trying to do, create a very mainstream song in order to, attach himself to the mainstream again. But even if that's the case, that's a little bit disappointing, Kevin. You have a phenomenally successful career, especially for a entity named Tame Impala. You've done a lot. So I don't know. I'm not excited by the song. I'm interested to see what happens next, but it's all right. It is definitely worth a listen.
The PlayStation's only $149, and you can also get leading titles.